A friend of mine is a 5-star safari. Peter Hayward, right? One of my heroes, great guy. He was friends with Nelson Mandela, and he was friends with a lot of the kings. And so he called me up one day and he said, "Listen, can you bring Reverend Alfred Johnson and your wife? Can you guys come down? We want to introduce the volunteer minister courses to the other 10 major kings of South Africa." It's got a bunch of little courses, really just like each one is a gem because it's one's how to handle PR. One's how to handle children. One is how to organize your life. Each of these little courses are pretty easy to do. And so, because one king was already halfway through the courses, he goes, and he could trace his lineage back tens of thousands of years. He goes, there's people who say they're kings, and there's a lot of kings in Africa. But there is these, Mandela's family is one of them. Prince Unati was one of our friends. He's since passed away, but we made friends at this meeting. So we said, okay, we'll come down. So now we're in a safari tent. Each of the kings brought about 5-6 people with them. So the tent had about 50, 60 people in it. My wife and I are there, and Reverend Alfredi's there. And so Reverend Alfredi he kicked it all off. And, and one of the kings was really anti-Scientology. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to say what religion, but it's just in a religion that doesn't believe any other religion should exist on earth, but including Scientology. So it wasn't just Scientology deserved that. It was any religion. But so he was kind of giving us a hard time at dinner the night before, and I was like, okay, well, I hope this works out. So we'll see. So we go in there. So, but Reverend Alfred Johnson has been my friend for 30 years. Black Baptist minister, one of the nicest people on earth, is just total humanitarian. So he starts introducing the concepts of Scientology and Mr. L. Ron Hubbard and what he did in South Africa specifically and helping with the Constitution. And Nelson Mandela loved The Way to Happiness book, which was one of the books that's just fundamental to society. And he's talking 3 hours nonstop. And everybody's in the tent. There's no wind blowing. There's a flap behind the speaker and there's a flap behind me. And I'm at the back of the tent so I could kind of see everything. I'm watching who's happy and who's not happy, and then Alfredi ends off, and it's quiet. And so Peter Hayward goes, "Okay, listen, we want to give you guys a chance to respond. Does anybody want to speak?" Well, Nelson Mandela's great grandnephew says, "I want to speak," and he was the one who was kind of causing a little bit of problems, right? So he gets up, and I go, "Oh no!" Now I'm sitting next to a guy who had to be security because I'm 6 foot tall. My head didn't even get to his shoulders.
Wow.
So he's a big dude. Unati gets up and starts to speak. When he starts to speak, the wind starts to blow through the tent. And then out of the back of the tent. And he starts to talk and he goes, "This is exactly what our people need. We need a technology that we can apply and to help because we got people without electricity and da-da-da." And he's going on and on. So he talks for like 10 minutes, and wind's blowing through the tent. He hits the podium and he ends. The wind stops instantly. Now, I was reading a bunch of books about African religions, native African religions, and I'm like, they really believe that the ancestors are there around them, giving them guidance when they need it. And if you look at Lion King, that's exactly what they portray in Lion King. So I look at the guy next to me and I go, "Was that the ancestors coming through the tent the whole time he was talking?" And the guy's eyes get really wide. He goes, "Yes." "How do you know?" I said, "Well, I'm a Scientology minister." He goes, "Oh." Because I could feel it wasn't just a wind. There was something in that wind. Yeah. There was some awareness, some knowingness, something. And we ended up having the most fantastic time with these kings, and they all started doing, I presented different courses, how to learn better, how to study better. One of the kings goes, "Oh my God, no wonder I put down every book I start to read. I don't understand the words that are in it." And he had a British accent, like he was trained in London in school and stuff. So these guys were the coolest people, and we have relationships with them still today. And that was many years ago. That was like 2011. And something like that, though, when you see it happen, it's not just you as a body. Mm-hmm. There is something more. There is some awareness around us. And, a spirit can't be seen or felt or touched, but, they can still have an impact on you because thought is the closest thing to a spirit. Mm-hmm. So what you think about, your thoughts can change. You can look at someone across the room and go, I really like that person. I got to meet him. And the person looks over for some reason. They go, hey, who are you? Or they come up to you. Or you think about, you think about someone you love. I got to talk to him. And your phone rings 1 second later, and it's the person you just thought of. Tell me that is material.
Yeah.
It's not material.
Yeah.
That's spiritual.
Yeah. Agreed.